guys, and welcome back to a new video. So we're starting today's video from my car because I thought I'm going to introduce this vlog before I forget. So this week we're going to be seeing how much I can realistically read in a week. Away a couple of days this week, but I'm going to be taking my Kindle and it's more of like a chilled working away week compared to like a race weekend, so we'll see how much I can actually get finished this week. Obviously it's now November, so it's the start of a new month, start of a new TBR. If you want to watch my November TBR, then that video is already out on my channel, so you can see what I've got planned for this month. We're actually starting this vlog on a Saturday, so I am just in the car about to head over to my nan's house to go and see her for a little bit, but I am going to be doing some reading obviously later on today when I get home. So I've started I think it's like a YA fantasy. I actually kindly got this book sent to me on my Kindle from the author. I think you pronounce it the Talesman or something like that. I'm going to pop it on the screen so I don't completely mess up what I'm saying. I started it a couple of days ago and I'm liking it so far. I feel like we're still in kind of like the understanding of what's going on within the world, you know, like you normally have with a fantasy where you're kind of building up to understand the characters and what's happening and what kind of world they're in. So I'm still at that part. I'm about 20% in, so I'll obviously give updates, but yeah, so I'm reading that on my Kindle at the moment, and like I say, I'm enjoying it so far. I like fantasy books anyway, but I do actually really enjoy like a YA fantasy. Sometimes it's just nice to have a bit of a refresher where it's not too much like thought process involved. Like sometimes with high stakes fantasy you have to really think, and sometimes it takes a toll on your brain, and I just want a bit more of a relaxed read. I read One Dark Window and that was obviously more of a high stakes fantasy, so I thought I would go for a bit of a less high stakes fantasy to read. So but it is obviously still autumn, and that's honestly just puts me in the most fantasy mood ever. So yeah, that's what I'm reading at the moment. But basically for this video we're just going to be, I'm just going to come back each day with updates on like how many pages I've read or what I'm reading and that sort of things. Pop in and give a little update on where I am with my reading and all that sort of stuff. First of all, how cute is this new hoodie? I'm literally going to be wearing this for the foreseeable future. This brand is literally my favourite brand of hoodie. This is not sponsored by the way, but literally my favourite brand. So I just want to buy this in literally every single colour. They have the cutest stuff at the moment. So I ordered the bottoms, the like tracksuit bottoms to match, but they're quite long on me because I'm very short, so I might actually buy the shorts instead to match this. But yeah, absolutely adore this. But anyway, that was a side tangent. I thought I'd pop in. So I didn't actually end up reading that many pages yesterday. I just had a little bit of a busy day. Obviously, like I said, I went to see my nan, and then I ended up popping to the shops, which I picked up some Christmas stuff to decorate my room, which if you want to see, that'll be over on my TikTok. I also then popped to food shopping with my mom and got some snacks and food and stuff for the week. Yeah, I ended up coming home. I did a little bit of reading, but not much. I watched my nephew for a little bit yesterday, and just, yeah, I ended up not having that much time. And then when it was time to read, I was really tired, so I only ended up reading 28 pages yesterday, and that was of The Soulburn Talesman. I hope I'm saying that correct, by the way. I've read some more of that this morning, but obviously I will give updates and stuff tomorrow on how much I read. However, I looked at my books on my November TBR and none of them are on Kindle Unlimited, so while I'm away this week I'm not going to be able to read any of those. But obviously The Soulburn Talesman is on my Kindle. I might actually save that and read that while I'm away this week, and then I might start Yellowface today. It was between Yellowface and Love and Other Words, but this one actually has less pages in, so I think I'm going to read this one, considering I literally have today and tomorrow at home, and then I'm going away on Tuesday, so I think I should be able to put a dent in this, or at least I'm hoping I can read all of it, but I'm going to at least put a big dent in it. I'm going to start this today, and obviously I'll give you an update on my thoughts and stuff. I am still reading The Soulburn Talesman. I am going to still read that. I'm about 30 something% through now, maybe 40%. But like I say, because that's the one on my Kindle, I can take my Kindle with me away this week. I've literally just packed all my stuff as well. That's just easier for me to take and read while I'm away rather than take a physical book. Pop in and give you a bit of an update on where I got to with my reading yesterday. So I started Yellowface and I did carry on reading some of the Soulburn Talisman, but as I mentioned, with going away I wanted to focus on finishing Yellowface at home, or trying to finish the most of it at home, and then taking my Kindle and reading Soulburn Talisman while I was away. Start with Soulburn Talisman. So I read 51 pages of that yesterday on my Kindle. The story is like, I feel like I'm still waiting for the plot bit to pick up. I don't know if this is part of a series, because if it isn't, then it does make more sense, because obviously the first book in a fantasy series is very much world building, seeing all the characters and kind of building those stages of a story. So I'm gonna have a look whether it is part of a series or not, because if so, then that makes more sense, that the story building and stuff is quite slow. We're still working on the story building and that kind of thing. So yeah, so I got 51 more pages of that completed yesterday. I did obviously start Yellowface and I got 97 pages into that. So yesterday we read 148 pages in total. I am really enjoying the story so far. It's not what I expected it to be. So I thought it was like almost like a behind the scenes of like theatre or acting, but it's actually a behind the scenes of the book publishing industry. So our main character basically has a bit of an incident with one of her friends where her friend dies in like this freak accident that happens, and our main character steals her book manuscript and basically publishes it as her own. She does, like, obviously if you read the story you'll understand, but that she makes some tweaks and stuff like that, so it's not like a carbon copy, but she does publish it as her own. And then it's kind of like behind the scenes of what happens in the publishing industry when you've got a bestseller and you're working with your agency to publish it. So that was really, really interesting to kind of see the behind the scenes of stuff that goes on and the process of what authors and publishing agencies have to do between submitting the manuscript to making edits to making a cover to getting it to be published, just everything. It's really, really interesting. Definitely going to continue this one, and I'm really glad I picked it up. I think I was in the right mindset to pick this one up. Also, how cute is my new Kindle case? I'm literally obsessed with this. I will put the Etsy shop down below where I got this from, but it's literally so adorable. They have so many cute cases and you can personalize them if you do want your name on, or if you wanted to get one for someone else that's personalized. I personally just prefer like a plain Kindle case, because I suppose like if I was ever to get a different Kindle, then I can sell this case or give it to someone else. If it has my name on, then I can't do that. But yeah, so I'm going to carry on doing some reading today and we'll see where we get to. From working away, so I thought I'd do like a little roundup of what I managed to read on the past couple of days. So it's now Thursday, so I don't want to obviously update you on Thursday stuff because I'm not quite finished with reading yet, but I want to update you on Tuesdays and Wednesdays count. So on Tuesday I actually didn't end up reading anything because I obviously had a drive to Liverpool in the morning and then was setting up all of our stuff all day, then went back, got changed, went to dinner, and just didn't end up reading a single page. So that is no pages for Tuesday at all. I didn't end up finishing Yellowface before I went away, which is a little bit annoying because I had to take the book with me, but I did manage to read some more of it while I was there. On Wednesday I read 48 pages of Yellowface. I literally had like 20 pages left, or have about 20 pages left I think, so there's not a lot to go and I really want to finish that off, but I was actually falling asleep yesterday, so I just didn't end up finishing the pages. Still very much enjoying this book. I'm really, really liking, again, like I think I mentioned it in my last update, the behind the scenes kind of stuff of the publishing industry and the book industry. It's so interesting to see what's going on. Our character, you have to just love to hate them. Like literally it's like you are making some of the worst choices, and I don't know why you're doing that, but I'm still so intrigued in the story. It's like, you've done this to yourself. So kind of like a little bit of a mystery element in there as well that I'm really intrigued to see how that rounds up. And yeah, I'm very much enjoying it, so I'm going to try and finish that today. And I did read some of the Soulburn Talisman, so I read 22 pages of that. Still got a little bit to go. I think I'm roughly about halfway through it now, so it's picking up a little bit. The more storyline stuff is picking up. I do feel it's probably going to be part of a series. It's just kind of giving series vibes, so again, I need to have a look whether it is or not. It's just like a YA fantasy, so there's not too high stakes, if that makes sense. It's more, it feels more of like an adventure fantasy than like high stakes fantasy, so still very much enjoying it though. And I'll obviously come back with updates on that. I don't know if I mentioned this, but the author actually very kindly sent me this book to read, so thank you so much for sending me it. I am enjoying it, and obviously I'll give like my thoughts and stuff towards the end. To give more updates on what I got up to yesterday in terms of reading and how much. So I read the last couple of pages of Yellowface, so I've now finished this. Very much enjoyed it. Ended up having 31 pages left in the end, so I managed to read all of that yesterday. Our character, you just had to love to hate her. Literally, you're like, why are you making these decisions? The mystery element of it was wrapped up towards the end, and our character still was making horrific choices, but you know, you just gotta love to hate her. And to be honest, I feel like I read this at literally the right time. I've been very much into literary fiction recently, and yeah, just that kind of genre type of story in general. So I feel like if I'd have read this any earlier, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as I did. I think I'm gonna give it like a 4.25 maybe. I'm gonna sit on it for the month and properly rate it in my November wrap up. But I think probably around that mark. Just so interesting to see the behind the scenes of how a book goes from a manuscript through to being put on the shelf. Like, there's just so much that goes into it. Simply like something that the author gets sent a page to sign, and then that gets slipped into the book and sent out to the bookstore. Like, that's so interesting. I just really enjoyed it, especially like a book girly. I just liked the whole background of everything. Yeah, just if you want that sort of thing, then I definitely recommend this. But trust me when I tell you, you're just gonna have to oversee some of the main characters' decisions, because she makes terrible decisions. But yeah, still really enjoyed it. And then I did read some more of the Soulburn Talisman, so I read 24 pages of that yesterday, so not too much. I was quite tired, to be honest, after getting home from Liverpool. Still managed to read some. I think I'm like 65% of the way through, maybe 70% of the way through, so I'm going to try and wrap that up today and see where I get to. Round off this video with how many pages I got up to yesterday. Obviously yesterday was our last day of reading, so we read from Saturday to technically Saturday, because obviously Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 7 days. Ended up finishing the Soulburn Talisman yesterday. I had 107 pages left, so I did some reading in the morning before work and then on my lunch break and after work, so I managed to finish that off. I do feel it is going to be part of a series. Actually, I'm going to Google that right now. Oh, perhaps. Maybe it's not then. It's not saying like it's not saying one of a series or anything like that, so I'm really not sure whether it is going to be a series or not then. But I thought it was. I thought it would have been, because of it being left on a cliffhanger. But yeah, I don't know, not necessarily a cliffhanger, but just hints that more things are coming, so maybe it is going to be part of a series. It was only published this year, so perhaps it will be. I feel like it was more of an adventure, not high stakes really. There was obviously some more actiony packed things that was going on in the world, like there was like battle scenes and stuff like that, but compared to reading adult fantasies, it's not as much high stakes as that, but still very much enjoyable. I really liked the different styles of characters. So obviously you had like the humans who ended up in the fantasy world, but then you had different factions within that world. So you had like the trolls and the fairies and like people in the kingdom and the goblins and stuff like that. It was all just really interesting. That was like different areas in a fantasy world, which was really cute and intriguing. Like, it wasn't just like fae or anything like that. So yeah, really cute. And I liked how each faction kind of had their own like personality and stuff. That was quite quirky. I think I'm gonna settle on maybe like, I think it may be a 3.5 for this one. I just feel like, again, just because it wasn't as high stakes fantasy, or what's the word, it just wasn't so action packed or as shocking as other fantasies. But I thought that this was going to be part of a series, so I normally don't give the first book in a fantasy series a high rating because of the world building and stuff. So maybe if it is part of a series and there's some later books, then those will be rated a little bit higher. I'm not sure, but that's normally how like fantasy series work for me anyway. I just feel like sometimes it takes me a bit to get into the world building. And I also started Caraval, which is obviously another fantasy book, but this is adult fantasy. So I ended up getting 33 pages through this book, which is not very much in terms of a fantasy. I feel like the world's not even built yet, they're not even at Caraval, so I can't give like too many updates on this. But if you don't know what Caraval's about, it's basically like, Caraval is the game, and there's a sister. I don't know which sister ends up in Caraval. Like I said, I have not got that far yet. One of them ends up in Caraval, I think, and then I think the other goes to rescue or something like that from other people's summaries. I'll obviously have to give you updates either in a different video, because this is the end of this video, but either in another video or in my November wrap-up this will appear, and my thoughts and stuff like that will be in. This has been on my TBR for so long, so I'm finally getting around to reading it. In total I read 140 pages yesterday, which was good going. Those are all the books that we're going to read in today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know whether you've read any of them, what your thoughts are. I'd really like to hear if any of you have read Yellowface and whether you also found their characters so frustrating. But yeah, let me know, and I'm sure I'll see you in another one super soon. Bye.